Somehow I forgot to do an intro to this video, so I'm just going to start it here. Today I played around with the new Jackie Aina palette in collaboration with Anastasia Beverly Hills, so if you guys do want to see how I created the look, which you haven't seen yet because I didn't do an intro, but if you want to see what look I created using that palette, then please do keep watching. I never realised how much of an egg I actually look when my hair is in a bun until I look into the camera. I swear I actually don't feel that eggy when I look in the mirror. So today I'm going to be christening the brand new Anastasia Beverly Hills in collaboration with Jackie Aina? I'm actually going to look up how to say her name because I'm really embarrassed that I don't know how to say it. Just give me a minute. Aina. Jackie Aina. I feel like I say it weirdly anyway because obviously I'm not like, I don't have the same accent as her, but in her videos she says, "Hi guys, I'm Jackie Aina." So I'm gonna go with Aina. Anyways, enough chatting rubbish for this video already, and we're probably only about 2 minutes in. This is the palette. This is the beautiful collaboration palette, and this is some packaging that Anastasia have never done before. It's like holographic snake skin and it's so beautiful. I like that they've made Jackie's logo bigger than their own logo, which really makes it stand out that it's a collaboration palette and it's not just Anastasia. So yeah, the packaging of this palette is absolutely stunning. It's unlike anything they've ever brought out before, but if we do open it up, you'll see that it is such a stunning palette. However, I do feel like it looks a little bit more basic than I was hoping. There are a few pops of colour in there, like we've got the warm sort of orangey brown and the purple and the pink, and then this purple shimmer here. But generally speaking, it's quite a neutral palette, and to be completely 100% with you guys, when I look at this palette, I really don't feel so inspired. You know, sometimes when you look at a brand new palette and you're like, oh, I'm gonna put that colour with that colour, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna use that. And this one, I'm kind of looking at it thinking, I don't really know what to do here, but nonetheless, it is a beautiful palette, especially for someone if you're not really into bright colours and you like to have something a little bit more neutral and a little bit shimmery, then this is going to be the palette for you. So as you can see, the inside of this palette looks exactly like one of the other Anastasia Beverly Hills palettes with the black outsides and then all of the shades, and then it also comes with the little brush like all of the other ABH palettes do. I actually think that the only palette of Anastasia's that doesn't have the classic black packaging is the Alyssa Edwards collab, which obviously is a bright pink palette. So yeah, this is it's beautiful, but it's a little bit more towards the neutral side than I thought it was going to be. Before I begin with the eyeshadow, I am just going to set down a base onto my eyes. So today I'm going to be taking the P. Louise base in the shade Rumo 1 and just set this all over my eyelids so we have a nice clean canvas. I've literally been waiting in for this package all morning. I mean, I say that, it is only 12:30 at the moment, but normally I like to film early in the morning, but I knew this was coming today, so I was like, I'll hold out and I'll do a review when it arrives, and it literally only arrived 10 minutes ago and I'm already filming. So if that's not dedication, then I don't know what is. Oh, I just don't know what to do with this palette. At first I was thinking I'll use the purples and the pinks, but then I don't really know if I actually want to use the browns. I don't really know how to incorporate the shimmers. I don't know whether just to do like a brown neutral with a shimmer all over the lid, but then again that's quite boring. I don't really know how to approach this. So I think I'm going to do a brown upper lid and then maybe take the purple and the pink on my lower lash line. I don't really know how it's going to all incorporate into the look, but I don't really have any other ideas at this point, so that's what we're going to go with. So I'm just starting with the dual-ended brush that comes in the palette. I'm taking the flat pack aside and I'm going to start with the shade Credit, which is the dark brown shade in this palette, and I'm going to pack that through my crease and then start to wing it out at the edge of my eye. Okay, so she's got some nice pigmentation. This brown shade is going down really, really nicely. It looks very, very even and smooth. It doesn't look like it's too patchy, which is a good thing as well, because some of the darker shades from Anastasia are known to come off a little bit patchy on the eye, especially when you put it straight down onto the base, but this one's not doing that at all. Well, I say that, I haven't actually come to blend anything on top of it yet, but it's looking really nice so far. The next shade I'm going to go in with is the shade Edges, which is this mid-tone brown. As you can see, there's kind of 3 neutral brown shades in this palette. We've got Credit, which is the dark one, then Edges, which is kind of the middle rusty orangey kind of shade, and then we've got Ginger, which I'm going to take on top to finish up the blend. Okay, so I'm actually really liking that shade as well. This one's actually really surprised me because I don't normally like the rusty red brown kind of brick shades, but this one actually is really nice and it's blending on top of that Credit shade really nicely too. This palette is definitely surprising me so far. I mean, there's no doubt about it, it's definitely not going to be my favorite go-to palette just because it's not really my kind of color scheme, but it is blending really nicely and the formula of the shadows that I've tried so far are really nice as well. And right up top of that blend, I'm going to take the shade Ginger, like I said earlier, and just take that on a slightly bigger brush, which is the Morphe M411 brush, and just buff out the edges. So I don't know if it's just my eyelids maybe, but that shade doesn't look as smooth as the other two did on my eyes. So I am also just going to take a little bit of clear translucent powder, this is the Rimmel one, on a brush, and I'm just going to buff out right at the top of that edge because obviously we don't have any kind of transition or nude or white shade in this palette. So I'm just going to take my translucent powder and do that. I literally swear by this trick, guys. Like, if you've never tried this before, take a clean brush. I would recommend to use a smaller brush just so it's a little bit more precise, but take any kind of white or nude or translucent kind of eyeshadow or powder and just buff out right at the top of those edges, and it really just blends in with your skin tone and makes everything look so much more faded and seamless. Now I'm just going back into that middle shade, which was Edges, and just going to brighten that up ever so slightly because we've kind of lost it in that blend. And then I'm just going back in one more time with that Credit shade, which was the dark brown, and just making sure we've got enough opacity in there just so when I go to cut the crease, it's not going to get lost. So now that I've got that blend going on the upper lid, I'm just going to take my P. Louise and Mitchell Blank Canvas Acid Rain Eye Paint, which I have already done a video on. If you guys want to see it, I will link it in the description below. I'm going to take this to cut my crease. Normally you guys know that I would remove the shadow first with a cotton bud and makeup remover, but I don't actually know where any of my cotton buds have gone, so I'm just going to go on top of this with this eye paint today. To be honest, this normally should cover the eyeshadow absolutely fine anyway, so we're just going to roll with it. Okay, now that my creases are cut into a half cut crease shape, I'm just going to go and tap over the edges with the shade Credit that I used in the beginning. I think I want to go on top of my lid using the shade Dollars, which is kind of a dupe for the Rattlesnake pigment by Peaches and Cream, which is like a gold with green reflex in it. I think that that will look quite nice with these brown shades. I really don't know how these are going to pick up with a brush, but let's just tap that all over my lid. So that shade actually took me quite a long time to build up some pigment to it. I kind of knew that was going to happen because the shades swatch really nicely on your finger, but they don't work well at all with a brush. So if you are going to put it on your lid, I do recommend using your finger, but it's a bit easier said than done when you've got claws on your hands. So that's why I used a brush. Now I'm going to take the shade Shookington, which I really like the name of, and it's a shimmery purple shade, and I'm just going to take that on the outer edge, just next to Credit and in between that shimmer shade as well. So just basically packing it on in the middle. Oh, okay, so this shimmer has so much more pigment than the last one. I think the last one was pressed a little bit looser, so it's like chunkier glitter, but this one is a really fine pigment and it's gliding straight onto the eye. So just before I go off camera and finish up my face and then come back to you with the under eye, I am just going to do a quick little bit of liner across my lower upper lash line and then pop some mascara and some lashes on. So I'm just taking the Anastasia Beverly Hills liquid liner. So I'm just going to do a line across and join it up to the outer corner. So I've just been ahead and popped on the Lily lashes in the style Miami. I got these from falseeyelashes.co.uk. They really kindly sent these over. So yeah, these are my lashes of choice today. I'm just going to pop off camera really quickly and finish up my skin, and then I'm going to come back to you for the under eyes. Hello, so I am back and I have finished up the rest of my face. I just also put on a little bit of lip gloss. I actually really like this shade of lip gloss. It's the Revolution Sheer Brilliant lip gloss in the shade Sheer Vow. I mean, I'm assuming it's a lip gloss because it doesn't actually say anything on the bottle about what it is. All it says is Sheer Brilliant. So it would be a bit weird if it wasn't a lip gloss because it definitely looks like one, but that's what I've used it for anyway. So I've just zoomed you in a little bit. I'm just going to do my lower lash line. I'm actually starting with the P. Louise and Mitchell eye base again in the shade Ibiza, which is obviously a purple shade, which will go really nicely with the shade I've got going on my lid. And I'm just going to take that right in my waterline. Now I'm digging back into the palette and I'm going to start with the shade Big Wig, which is the purple shade in the palette. It actually looks very similar to one of the shades from the Riviera palette by Anastasia. But I'm just going to run that right underneath my lower lash line and join it up to the wing on the outer corner. And finally, I'm just going to buff the shade Supreme underneath that purple to blend it out. Okay, you guys, and this is the finished look I have created today with the brand new Anastasia Beverly Hills in collaboration with Jackie Aina. Why do I not know how to say that? It is Aina, right? Jackie Aina palette collaboration. So my final thoughts on this palette. First of all, I'm really pleased with how this look came out. The matte shadows for sure blended really nicely, actually more nicer than I was expecting them to. And I know I shouldn't have really expected a lot because I hadn't tried the palette yet, but some of the Anastasia shadows are a bit hit and miss. Like for example, you guys saw my Riviera review. That one wasn't the best, but I'm actually so impressed with the mattes in this palette. I used pretty much every single matte in here besides Pinker, which to be honest with you looks matte from a distance, but actually when you look at it up close it looks like it's got the tiniest bit of shimmer in it. So I don't actually know if that is supposed to be a matte or a shimmer, but besides that I did use all of the other mattes and I'm really pleased with how they blended. They blended really flawlessly and seamlessly into each other. Some of the shimmer shades were alright, so obviously I used the shade Shookington and that one was really pigmented and came off really nicely. But then I also used the shade Dollars, which you guys saw was a little bit more of a struggle. It was a little bit more chunkier and a bit harder to basically just to get onto the eye. I'm sure if I had used my fingers it would have come off a lot easier, but using a brush it definitely was a bit of a struggle. To be honest, I'm not really such a shimmer person anyway. If I'm gonna put any shimmer on my lid, I'll always use a glitter pigment rather than an actual shimmer straight out of a palette, so that doesn't bother me so much. I'm more interested in the mattes, to be honest with you. Besides that, as I said at the beginning, this packaging is honestly my favorite palette packaging I've got out of all of my palettes. It is so unbelievably beautiful and this is gonna live right on top of my desk just so I can stare at it every day. But yes, a massive congratulations to Jackie and Anastasia Beverly Hills for bringing out this bomb palette. I did actually really enjoy using it. Will it be my favorite? Probably not, but I will probably pick it up for doing a more neutral look. If you did enjoy watching me create this look today, then please do make sure to leave a thumbs up, a comment down below, and also subscribe to my channel if you have not already. You can also find me over on my Instagram, which is at LSG Makeup. I would really appreciate if you could go and help me out over on there. And besides that, I'm gonna leave this video here. So thank you so much again for watching. I'm sorry if this one was a little bit of a short one. Thanks so much for watching, guys, and I will see you in my next video. Bye. I need you right now. Yeah, I need you right now.